أشهد
أشهد
أن
أن
لا
لا
إله
إله
إلا
إلا
الله
الله
وأشهد
وأشهد
أن
أن
محمدا
محمدا
رسول
رسول
الله.
الله.
Welcome to Islam.
Hello, Islamic friends. Meet again with the Islamic Robes channel. Before we continue, it would be good for us to support this channel by clicking the subscribe, like, comment, and share buttons. The Islamic guidance he found was truly extraordinary. Indeed, Allah has many ways to bring Islamic guidance to mankind, even though sometimes you have to go through very stressful events. It rarely occurs to us that someone will find God's guidance amid such terrible conditions. A Russian airline pilot experienced this incident and managed to convert to Islam after carrying out a visual inspection of the aircraft's exterior to ensure there was no damage or technical problems. He also inspected the interior and systems to confirm that all instruments in the cockpit were functioning properly. The aircraft was ready to take off and follow the planned route. However, when the plane was traveling at full speed in the air, the aircraft suddenly experienced engine problems. The pilot and co-pilot followed the engine failure checklist contained in the aircraft operations manual. All the passengers started to show fearful reactions. They shouted and even cried uncontrollably. In the midst of the chaos, there was a Muslim man who remained calm. Instead of panicking, he chose to pray 2 rakats. When the plane's pilot entered the cabin to calm the passengers, he was surprised to see the Muslim man praying, fully aware that this incident could threaten everyone on board. After the Muslim man finished his prayer, the pilot immediately asked what he had said to God. "I have asked Allah for mercy and to be kept away from all danger," said the Muslim man. He also urged the pilot to remain calm and not to worry, expressing confidence that everything would be fine. Not long after, the pilot returned to the cockpit, and surprisingly, the engines, which had been experiencing problems, began to work normally again. As a result, the plane managed to fly to its destination and landed safely. Thanks to this incident, the pilot's heart was stirred, leading him to desire to convert to Islam. He and the Muslim passenger immediately went to a mosque upon arrival. It turned out that the pilot was determined to embrace Islam and take the Shahada in front of several other pilots and co-pilots. Another remarkable incident involved a Russian pilot named Ivan Petrov. He was a military pilot who had served for over 20 years and was known as one of the best pilots in his class, completing many dangerous missions successfully. However, despite his success, he felt something was missing in his life. Ivan loved flying. It gave him a freedom and calm he couldn't find elsewhere. Yet as time passed, he began to feel empty and questioned his life's purpose. One day during a peace mission in the Middle East, Ivan's plane experienced engine failure, forcing him to make an emergency landing in a remote village. Although there were no casualties, Ivan had to stay in the village for several weeks until the rescue team arrived. During his stay, he met a priest named Abdul Rahman. Imam Abdul was a wise old man, always friendly and full of affection. While living in the village, Ivan often talked with Abdul Rahman. They discussed many topics, from everyday life to the meaning of life and religion. Abdul introduced Ivan to Islamic teachings. At first, Ivan listened curiously, but the more he heard, the more interested he became. He began to see life from a different perspective. The sincerity and calmness of Abdul and the villagers made Ivan question his old beliefs. Every day, Ivan observed how the villagers worshipped. He was impressed by their discipline and togetherness. When the month of Ramadan arrived, he saw how the people fasted with great patience and broke their fast together with immense joy. This touched his heart. Ivan began reading the Quran and studying Islamic teachings more deeply, feeling a calm and contentment he had never experienced before. After several weeks, Ivan decided to embrace Islam with Abdul Rahman's guidance. He recited the 2 sentences of the Shahada and officially became a Muslim. Ivan's life changed drastically after returning to Russia. He became a calmer, more patient, and grateful person, feeling that his life now had a clear purpose. While continuing his duties as a pilot, Ivan became active in the Muslim community in Russia, sharing his experiences and helping others learn more about Islam. The pilot who once felt empty now found peace in Islam. He realized that his search for meaning had led him to the right path and was determined to live the rest of his life with complete sincerity and devotion to Allah. This story illustrates how someone can find the light of Islam through an unexpected journey in life. Hopefully, this story can inspire and provide enlightenment for all of us. This is the story of a pilot's conversion after experiencing a horrific event in the air. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has many ways to bring Islamic guidance to mankind, although sometimes it has to go through very stressful events. Have you ever thought about finding God's guidance in the midst of a terrifying situation in a plane that was floating in the air? A pilot in a Russian airline experienced this incident. The plane from the Russian airline suddenly experienced engine trouble. Who knows what happened? The plane's engine suddenly failed to work. All passengers have started to show fearful reactions. They screamed and even cried uncontrollably. Amidst the chaos, there was a Muslim man who remained calm. Rather than panic, he chose to pray and perform 2 rakat prayers. When the pilot of the plane came to the cabin to calm the passengers, he was shocked to see the Muslim man praying, even though he knew very well that the incident could threaten everyone on the plane. After the Muslim man completed the last rakat, the pilot immediately asked him what he said to God. The man also asked the pilot to stay calm and not worry. He was sure that everything would be fine. Not long after, the pilot returned to the cockpit. Strangely, suddenly the engines that had all experienced problems were able to work normally. As a result, the plane managed to land safely. Thanks to that incident, the pilot's heart was knocked. He and the Muslim passenger immediately went to the mosque after arriving at their destination. It turned out that the pilot was determined to embrace Islam. This is the end of our video. If you enjoy Islamic content like this, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.